We are currently in our stewardship season, which is our churchy way of saying that during this time of year, the leadership asks you to tell us what you plan to give the church over the next year. And to be clear, this is the church's fiscal year, which goes from July 1st, 2022 through the end of June in 2023. We do this because we are making our budget for next year right now, putting aside money for a bunch of different things we want to do or to pay our wonderful staff, to make changes to our building to make it more accessible, to sustain and to give back to our broader community through our shared resources. And so now is a good time to remind you about any kind of think about any kind of programs or projects we want to do as a church next year. So if you have any ideas, I think you should talk to me or someone on the board. Raise your hand if you're on the board about it. We also have some online as well to talk to someone on the board about it, because what we can do as a church together is greater than what we can do alone. So what we can do to transform ourselves and our world. Anyhow, back to stewardship. We, the members of friends of our congregation, we take this responsibility as stewards of this unique congregation seriously. Now today, I am giving the testimonial, which is the moment in our service where someone gets up here and tells you about how much the church means to them and why they give money to the church. And today it's me, the minister, giving one, because indeed I do give money to the church, not because I have to, I assure you, but because I consider this place to be my spiritual home. And so today, in the spirit of this service, I want to give my testimonial for you in the style of a credo, to tell you my beliefs, my statement of beliefs, and why they make me want to support this congregation. I believe in our power to transform lives in our world. I believe that humanity is not a solo activity at its core, and what we are doing here is finding community that is so deeply necessary in these times of increasing disconnection. And to be vulnerable, like some of you were today, in the presence of others, and to be held in that vulnerability, it's a human need that we are uniquely positioned to address. I believe that Unitarian Universalism has an important message, a saving message that has saved my life and can and will and has saved many others. It's a message that you have value, that your unique way of being in the world is beautiful and divine, and that you are loved. I believe that church is a place to make meaning, that we need ritual even now, and that by working together to do more in the world, we can do more in the world than we could do alone. Because there's power in what we can do as a collective that goes beyond any of us as an individual. I believe that we need to try to connect those we disagree with and who are different than us, and that church is a place to practice that. I believe that intergenerational community is deeply needed in a world where we are so often age segregated. Church is one of the few places where we are around people that are not our age, other than our families. I believe that First Parish in Malden is a special place where we are doing something countercultural by coming together in this old building, doing something as ancient as life itself, and coming together through ritual. And yet I also see us doing something new, figuring out how church works in the 21st century. I believe that this church is a haven for many kinds of people. And I know in particular, it's a place where children are welcome to run in our sanctuary and are welcomed as whole people and integral parts of our community. I know that it's a place that queer and trans people have found, sometimes the only place where they can be their full selves. And I know that these are not things that we can say in every church, not even every UU church. I believe that we all need to be challenged to think a little differently, to become the people that we want to be, the people we say we are. And I know that every day, you, each of you, in ways you know and don't know, challenge me to be a better person. Help me see where I might have missed something. Help me live my values in the world in a more authentic and whole way. Challenge me to speak when I'd be more comfortable in silence. I believe that churches need resources to live our full values, that staff are important so that you can receive when you come to church, so that we can help create this community and make you a part of it, especially now at where we are in the pandemic, when community connections are needed, but our capacity is still low and recovering from this extended experience that all of us share. I believe that we need money so that we can have a building that we share with our neighbors and community, such as the spaces we share with Malden Neighbors Helping Neighbors and the Greater Malden Asian community with their ping pong club here for their elders. I believe that you are the church, which means that I'm not asking you for money, you are asking you for money. I believe that this is the place I want to raise my family. Your kids are the ones I want to help teach my kids. And yours are the beliefs that I want them and me to be exposed to. I believe that we are uniquely positioned here in Malden to make a difference in our community of Malden and beyond. And I believe that money can help us do this. I could go on. First Parish is my community. And as a member of this community, I wouldn't ask you to do something that I'd be unwilling to do. And that's why my family is pledging $2,500 this year, which is about 3% of my family's total income, between my income, which you can look up on the church budget, which is around $72,000. I'm the only person who everyone can see what I make. And the very small amount of money my wife makes and her part-time work. Because we want this congregation to exist far beyond us and the people who are in this room. To be a haven for families and children and people that the world may not understand yet. To challenge people far beyond me or even you being here. To grow and change with the time because it has to. The way that we have been able to by doing simple things like having a hybrid service, but things that require money from us. So I want to encourage you to think about your beliefs, how this congregation has helped or can help you explore and examine them and change and challenge them. How it can help you do your work in the world more centered in your values. How it can help you become that person that you say you want to be and that you want that for others. Yeah, oh no. Oh yes, that's right. So if you haven't already, or even if you have, take a look at the pledge card in your order of service or go to fpmalden.org/pledge and consider pledging for the first time or increasing your pledge or just repledging this year if you are able. And finally, I want to end this testimonial by thanking you for being the people that you are. I haven't had an easy year. None of us have had easy years. In fact, in some ways, it's been a hard 5 years since I started here, if you have that pandemic in the middle. But I have always known you to be a warm and loving people, whoever you is, even though that changes over time, who will hold us all in our grief, like our member Heather said in her testimonial last week, and in our pain and in our joy. And for that and so many reasons, I love you, each of you. So blessed be and amen. So now is the time in our service where we share with each other the gifts of our congregation.